Welcome back to In Pursuit of Magic, where we explore the things that inspire us, connect us, and the magic we find along the way. I'm Matthew Modine, and today's very special guest is a multifaceted and talented actress, singer-songwriter, music producer, from dramatic roles like Sienna on the hit series Shameless to the iconic antagonist Laurie Spengler in Happy Death Day. She has a vast range of characters that are often layered, complex, and you can't help but be pulled towards. She's also a singer-songwriter whose album The Infinity Mixtape is often on repeat on my playlist and continues to put out new music while juggling filming and often collaborating with others. She also paints, and I have one of her paintings on my shelf, which I'm very excited and honored to own. I'm very, very excited to welcome the incredibly magical Ruby Modine. Ruby, thank you so much for being on.
That was that was such an intense introduction that I feel like I'm gonna be like, "Well, thank you, Matthew. It was nice talking to you. Bye." Look at the painting I sent you, like, what, 4 years ago?
Yeah, it's so funny. You had sent it around COVID time. It was pandemic time,
Oh,
and
longer.
this like whole podcast was kind of just a thought in the back of my head of maybe one day. I don't know how that would work. I don't know how I would do that alone. And so it's very full circle to have you on.
I know, and you know what's amazing? I love the name of your podcast because sometimes I mean, like, I have to remind myself of it as well, but I tell the people in my life, like, especially if they're having a bad day, I say, "Remember to look for magic everywhere today," because it really is it's hiding everywhere out there in the world. So, hi, Matthew.
I completely agree. And, just following your career and your posts and everything that you care about, it's very clear that you love what you do and you love see the magic in it and you see the value and importance in it. And,
I know that I'm very honored, I'm lucky, I'm blessed, I'm very happy that I get to do what I love.
and it shows. And we'll talk a little bit more about it later, but you were recently at a convention and the consensus that I was seeing online about you is that you are insanely cool and insanely nice. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like Ruby. So,
Texas Frightmare. I had a boot on because I recently broke my foot and injured my knees doing a stunt on the latest horror movie that I was
oh
working
my
on, which is
gosh.
directed by my wonderful brother. And yeah, we had to pause filming on that. And then I went into Sicklerville and I didn't realize it was broke. Anyway, long story short, yes, the whole weekend they gave me a scooter to help me out. And I don't think they realized how fast the scooter went because I was flying around. I was having so much fun. And I crashed into like 3 brick walls on 3 different days accidentally, like, my backpack caught onto it at one point. I just yeah. It was
Well,
a really
kudos to
fun
you.
weekend.
I mean, yeah, you look like you were having fun, and kudos because I know those conventions could be exhausting and overwhelming sometimes, and you
Yeah.
just fully embraced it.
Yeah, I feel like I was made for conventions because I've now done 3 of them, and every time one of them ends, I go to my friend Zach, who represents me, and I'm like, "Okay, so when's the next one?" Because I just love meeting people, and they're so sweet, and I just, like I get these cool little trinkets and gifts that are usually, like, wildly artistic. He's really anyway, yeah, I love conventions.
It's such a great way to connect, and you can tell just the love that comes out of those weekends, and
Yeah.
I always hear incredible things about when people meet you, so
Well, I appreciate that. I really love that. Sometimes they point things out to me that in the films that I've been in that I don't even notice, and they're like, "That was a nod to the next one, right?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And they're like, "At the end, didn't you notice that you're walking in the back of the scene?" And I'm like, "Really?" So, then I get to rewatch my work and go like, "Oh my gosh, that is an Easter egg."
it's amazing what people notice. It's really
Yes.
incredible. Well,
Grateful.
you're no stranger to acting and to the business. You grew up in a family with a strong acting legacy. And so I'm very curious, what influenced your decision to pursue being a performer and inspired you?
Well, it was so wonderful when I was growing up because I felt that I was always happiest and I was most at home when my dad would let me go to set. And I was like, sometimes I was given the opportunity of like being let out of school a little bit early so that I could go be with him longer on set. But it was just always such a great experience because I loved the crew members, the hair and makeup department was what was always so fun, and wardrobe. This everybody was so kind, and I loved the artistry that went into it, and I loved watching people come to set in one way, and then they put on this costume and they become somebody completely different, and having the opportunity to sit on set and especially watch my dad, I was like, "This is what I wanna do. This is so cool." You get to enter into like, anything that you could possibly dream of is created on set, so, yeah. It was definitely early on that I was like, "This is it."
you saw the movie magic behind the scenes, and it's so incredible seeing everything, like, come together like that, and then to
Yeah.
now be part of that and creating that. I think both on film and also with music. Music's a whole other genre of, like, collaborating and creating
Yes.
magic.
Yes, I love both of them so much for so I it's like, for such different reasons, excuse me, and it's funny because sometimes people ask me, "What do you prefer? Do you like acting or singing more?" And I'm like, "They're 2 completely different animals. They're 2 completely different outlets," and, yeah, I just love doing both of them so much, and when I moved back east, I don't know where the confidence came from. It definitely, like, I was pushed a little bit further by my friend Tommy, but, um, yeah, I got this boost of confidence, and I was like, I've always wanted to do heavier music since I was a child, and so I'm gonna do it. And I talked to him relentlessly, and he was like, "You gotta do it." I'm like, "I'm gonna do it." So yeah, my music has shifted a little bit, but I'm excited because I'm gonna finally be putting out my next album, which is called La Pura Vida, and it's gonna be out next year. And it's like ethereal jazz mixed with metal,
That's
and I'm
awesome.
giddy.
That sounds very you, number 1. But number 2, it amazes me, and I was thinking about this earlier, that you have such range in your acting roles, but you also have such range in your music, which is incredible to see.
Thank you. I like it. I feel like people get sometimes like they get annoyed by it because 'cause they're like, "What's your genre?" And I'm like, "I just gotta do what I'm feeling in the
Yeah.
moment."
Don't let people put you in a box. You do what you
Thank you,
love.
Matthew.
Well, in terms of acting, your role as Sierra on Shameless brought you a lot of recognition. What was it like working on such a long-running series, and what do you think the character taught you about acting or storytelling?
Okay, well, first part, crazy because so I lived in Lynbrook, Long Island for 2 seasons of the show. We'll just, time frame it like that, and we had shameless Sundays. And we would brew coffee at night. Everybody would go into we called it the dark room, it's the living room. Nobody was allowed to speak. And we would watch the episode, and as soon as it ended, everyone would start, like, bickering and going like, "What do you mean you agree with him? What do you mean?" And it was, so I just loved the show so much, and then things started to take off in a different direction, and over time, I was given the opportunity to audition for the show, and I was like, "Nothing will stop me," like, and so to be watching it and be such a fan of these amazing actors and such great writing, and then you're on the set. First of all, there's, like, a pressure, obviously, because 'cause you're like, "I can't put this up." Like, um, but also reel in I have, I think, very, like, childlike excitement that I have a hard time sometimes. So I remember getting to the lot, and I walked into some of the sets that they had obviously built on set, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, this is on a lot?" And then when we went to the house in Chicago, I walked in and was heartbroken because the house didn't look like what they had created on the lot, so I was like, but yeah, so it was a really great experience and a wonderful acting experience, and, yeah, Sierra, uh, I loved that I was directed by so many different directors and got to work and collaborate with so many different people who educated me on how to pull from places, who taught me how to stay grounded, who showed me, like, you don't always have to go loud because that's another thing that I used to do. I always used to go loud, and I feel like a lot of that kind of came into play on this last film that I did called Sicklerville, which, we can talk about later, but the very incredible, like, that's the most raw film I've ever done. It's a true story about all of these people dealing with addiction, and oh my. Oh my. Talk about raw.
Yeah. I mean, dealing with those kind of serious topics can often be challenging, emotional, and it's so interesting that you can take on a role like that and just slide into those characters. I mean, when on Shameless specifically, you fit into that group like perfectly. Like it felt like you were on the show the entire time.
And that's a very welcoming cast. And I remember there are certain instances where I was somewhat protected for one reason, excuse me, for one reason or another by each one of them, and I was given a lesson by each one of them. So I think that that's why it read as that, because they were just like, "Welcome to the crazy house."
Which is important, that's not all productions are created equal, not all
Mhm.
casts are created equal, and so when that happens, that's really special, and I think it's important to have More of that and people looking out for each other.
Yeah, agreed.
And, you're no stranger to franchises, with Happy Death Day, which is 2 of my favorite films, and playing Laurie Spengler, and you got to go from menacing and horror to a lighter version in the second film, and I'm very curious what first drew you to those movies and the time loop concept, but also if there is going to be a third, which there's been rumblings, what would you wanna see with Laurie or alternate version of Laurie?
I have heard rumors about the third one, and I don't I don't doubt it because Christopher Landon always has something up his sleeve, and Jessica Roth is just fierce. And I'm like, if she says that something's gonna happen, I believe it. She's amazing. But so I've heard that. I don't really know what direction Laurie could go in. I loved her as evil. I think I mean, that was really fun for me to play personally.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the second one, it was such a tearjerker to see them getting along and she's saying goodbye to them and that little hand pull, it was just like, "Oh, no." But I liked seeing that they had a friendship, but people have been asking me that, and the only thing that I really the only thing that I've been asking is, what if Lori got shot in the hospital and then she gets taken back to the dormitory, she's in that universe,
Yeah.
and somebody has left her a cupcake and they're like, "Get well soon," and she eats her own cupcake.
Oh my god.
That's literally the only thing that I can think of. I don't know, I can't go in any other direction because I know that Christopher, if it happens and if she comes back, it's probably gonna be completely opposite of anything that I could imagine. So,
Yeah, that's
only time
part
will
of the
tell.
fun though, and the surprise. I mean, there's so many directions it can go. I mean, with now another character going through the time loop,
Mhm.
and Tree having to be like, "Oh my god."
And not to mention, I mean, Rachel Matthews was so freaking funny in the second one. I'm
Yes.
like, if they're gonna be putting her through the ringer, I have a feeling like the audience is not going to stop laughing. Her scene when she's blind, I
Yes.
remember being at the premiere and I scream laughed when she's pretending to be French, but then he helps her up and she's like, "Gracias." Oh my gosh. So, yeah, I would anticipate that her part will be hilarious.
I believe it. And I think, those movies have such comedic beats that balance, like, the horror of what's going on, that it's just
Yeah.
this perfect mix that it's why it's so fun, and it's why it's so beloved, I think, and people love even Laurie, they love. Like, Laurie's such a fan favorite, which is so funny.
Yeah, I do really love to go back to conventions, how many people I see dressed up as Lori, dressed up as Pam, like, I just the cosplay of oh, and Babyface. There were 3 baby faces in my line at one point, I was really creeped out. I was like, "I love you guys and appreciate it, but stop staring," because there was just 3 of them stacked.
Well, at this point, you're definitely a scream queen. I mean,
Oh,
between the
thank
Happy Death
you.
Days, Satanic Panic, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Fear, and so I'm very curious what attracts you to the genre and how do you approach building intensity or vulnerability in those roles? Because these are also characters that even though they have this horror side to them, people also love. They love to watch.
I don't know. I, maybe it's like the adrenaline rush of it all, but like, I remember when I was 13 years old, I watched Jessica Biel's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Of course, I'd seen the other ones, but there was something about hers that really I was like, "Mm." And I don't know, there's something about I think it is the adrenaline. I do, and I like the aspect of facing things that I'm afraid of,
Yeah.
and trying my best to battle them. Like, I don't do well with being chased. I like go into fetal position and drop down. So if I can meet each fear that I have in life and put it into my art and let the audience know that what they're watching is probably really true, then why not? It's a good form of therapy, so to speak.
Yeah. Completely agree.
Yeah.
I think that's why I started to love horror because it was a way of facing fears and
Yeah.
feeling like, you know what? If I can like watch this and face that, like why am I gonna be afraid of like public speaking or this or that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and also, I mean, I've said this in the past, and it makes me like I want to phrase it properly, but the idea of being able to battle out obviously creatures that we dream about, like I'm sure my favorite thing in the world is vampires, but to be able to battle it out with them, die, and then they say cut, and you pop back up, and you're like, "Let's do it again." That's cool.
Yeah. And, it's so fun when someone who is in that world and creating those stories loves it so much because it shows. And I feel like that's why people are drawn to the stuff that you're in because you love what you're doing.
I mean, Rowan and I had the most fun shooting Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Oh my God, Snow Globe. Let me
Oh, where's
tell
the
you,
camera? Oh, there it is.
that movie was so much fun. And I went into it blind because I hadn't seen the original. And I went into it
Oh,
completely blind and I was like, let's do this. And I loved it from start to finish. But especially Pam, she's just this character that first of all feels very real, like someone you would meet. But second, I was like, man, I need a Pam in my life just to kick someone's ass if they mess with me.
yeah, she loves pretty ferociously, needless to say. I'm kind of nervous because, I love Mike P. Nelson so much. He did an interview and he's like, "Yeah, Ruby told me that she had so much in common with Pam," and I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wait,
I
let's
saw
figure
that
out our phrasing on this."
I feel like I saw that headline and I was like, I think it's a little taken out of context. I think she means like she cares about people and, feels
Yeah, I
strongly
mean, and
about things.
I do have a good amount of people that approach me and they're like, "I would do that for my nephew hands down." I'm like, "I mean, don't tempt me, I definitely would too."
Yeah, and it's understandable. That's the thing. I think you were like, yeah, of course I get that.
And then I end up, like, saving him from the ball pit. The little boy, his name is Tom in the film.
Yeah.
Tommy, I, like, beat him with the hockey stick, and then I end up saving him. We had an idea in that, what if he wakes up and sees me and goes like, "Oh god, no, not you," and but we were like, "No, he's too drugged out in the scene." But, yeah, and it would've been too, like, funny, you know?
It would have been very funny, actually. That could have been a deleted scene.
Yeah. "No, not you, get away from me." And I'm like, "I'm here to help you, like, stop fucking moving."
Well, see, now I'm gonna be thinking about that scene when I rewatch it because that is really, really funny because it's like waking up to like another horror.
Yeah. She sees my face and just, like, tries to go further into the ball pit. Anyway.
Well, in terms of horror, you're also working on a most delightful game, a horror thriller directed by your brother Bowman.
Yes!
What is it like collaborating with family on the project, and what can you share about the character and the film's vibe without big spoilers?
I know. Let me think really hard on this one. So, first of all, I was somewhat nervous to be going into a film to be working with my older brother. He's 5 years older than me. So that, like, little tinge of sibling fear came in, I was like, "Oh, no." But I was so, so joyfully shocked because it is a real collaboration, and it's cool to be looking at him, he who towers over me, looking to him, eye to eye and saying, "What if we tried this?" Him asking me questions, me asking him questions, like, it truly is such a collaboration, and I think that through that, we're making the film even more disturbing. And working with Richard Harmon has been a freaking dream. I mean, the whole cast is amazing, and the film itself is so dark, disturbing, terrifying, and my character, Sonia, is looking for her sister, Liza, who I'm also playing, so that's cool because that's the first time I played twins. And yeah, it's a film about self-exploration and trying to find a version of yourself that's going to like, so to speak, like, even yourself out, ground yourself. So it's been intense, and there's been a lot of running, a lot of sweating, a lot of screaming, a lot of blood. So I'm right at home. I'm happy as like, as a bug. Happy as Anyway, yeah.
Happy, yeah, happy as a clam, happy as a bug.
Happy as a clam, there it is. Thank you.
I'm
Happy as
gonna
a
start
bug.
saying happy as a bug though. That's gonna be
I
my
Can
new
we say
phrase.
happy as a ladybug?
Yeah, let's do that. Well, I'm very excited to see this movie because yeah, it sounds dark and scary and very exciting. And to know that there is all these like stunts happening too has me very
Yes.
interested.
I have all the behind the scenes of all the stunts. You know that
Ah,
I'm counting down the seconds till I'm allowed to share them. I know that they have they had a shot of when I, broke my foot, which I just almost gave away the whole scene. But I know that they have it. I hope that they have it at an angle that we'll at least be able to see it as, like, at
yeah.
the end of the credits, but I'm gonna have to talk to my brother about it because obviously he's very upset and somewhat traumatized that I was on his set and I got hurt.
Well, you're a trooper because you were just coming off another movie, or you were going to
I
another
was going
movie.
into my next
Yeah.
one.
So, and then
Sicklerville.
went through that, and then from there went to a convention. So
Yes,
again,
I
kudos.
yeah, because I broke my foot. I thought, "Oh, it's." I didn't think it was as serious as it was, so they paused filming, and I was like, "Oh, I can go into my next film a few days early." Put on an 8-pound, 9-month pregnant belly, walked around on it with, like, ringing in my ears, my face is tingling, but I'm on set, and I'm like, "This is great." Yeah, and then I wrapped that, and I found out my doctor was like, "Yeah, 1 month." But it's
Oh,
cool. I those are choices that I made on each one of the projects, and I don't regret any of the choices because both films are. I'm excited for you to see them and you gotta tell me what you think.
same. And speaking of Sicklerville,
Yes.
it's a drama, and I'm curious about that movie and how you choose roles between these different genres and what drew you to this movie, and what a little bit about your character.
You saw I was just about to leap right in. So, Sicklerville came to me by way of my very dear friend, James Paxton. He and I have known each other since the beginning of our careers, and we have been pitching like, each other to different producers and different casting directors forever. And little did we both know that the first one that we would get would be this film, because again, it's a very dark, true story about, individuals dealing with addiction. And, it was such an experience, and we were just artistically pushed in a way that I never have been, and the cast, we all just found such solace in each other. It's me, James Paxton, Cody Seigneur, I've been practicing that all day, Bailey Denmark, Tim Griffin Allen. But just all of us, it's a passionate project, and it's gonna hit it's gonna hit people in places that I think are gonna deeply affect them.
Yeah,
And
which
yes,
is
it's a
really
drama. It's
meaning.
a drama, needless to say, as to my dramatic answer.
But I feel like it's so fitting also with both your acting work and your music, where it's a lot of deep feelings and a lot of exploring emotions and real world stuff, which is
Yeah.
it just lines up with I think who you are. And so it's amazing that you've had so completely different movies to film in the same amount of time, which is
Yeah.
like really cool too.
Yeah, and it's given me a lot of opportunity to dive in to my personal and see, like, see things that need attention, or things that I want to heal, or things that I realize I have healed. It's just, yeah, this year has been really artistically eye-opening, and I appreciate every single person that's been involved in that journey because, again, you just need to watch them and listen to everything that's coming out. They'll explain themselves, Matthew.
I'm very excited though because it the excitement from you shows online like so much in everything that you're doing, and it gets me more excited. I'm like, oh man, like she really is loving this. Like I can't wait to see this.
Yeah. I think, because why not, right? If you're gonna do, I don't know. I hope everybody can find joy in what they do if they're able to.
Yeah, because that's part of the magic, and it goes to show with your music too, which, like I said, there's such range in it, and you're exploring a harder sound and collaborating with people, and
Yeah.
so I'm very curious about you know what fans can expect to hear from your music coming up and what you're working on. You said there's an album coming.
So I'm leaving in July to work with Eric Emery in Los Angeles. We're going to be doing a cover together. And I'm bringing on this amazing female artist who is so metal and so badass. I will wait until the announcement of her to come out. She's a local to Brooklyn and chef's kiss. And then I come back and I work with the incredible Tommy Roulette again and Aaron Shaparian on an original song that is so unhinged, and we, like, none of us can stop smiling about it because we're like, we're doing it, it's gonna be crazy. And then after that, I will step back and I will just focus on my album, which will be released in 2027.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, number one.
Thank you.
It's so awesome that you're getting to do this and also like work with other people and work with people that you admire and get to
Truly.
jam out with.
I know, and I've gotta get Crystal in there. We were at one point really fixated on starting our band, the Other Realms, and then everybody got busy. So now, like, next year we get to dive into that and figure out what's gonna happen there. But yeah, lots of moving pieces. This is what we call a
Yeah.
champagne problem.
Well, and, like, yeah, it's so funny because you keep busy. Like, creatively, you're always in the middle of something, and like I said, you jump from different films and your music, and then you did a convention. So, it's really a beautiful thing to see too because you're clearly really doing what you love, and to immerse yourself in that, I think it's part of the magic, but it seems like part of that magic is also the people you're collaborating
Yeah. That's very well said. Thank you. Thank you for answering that
with.
for me.
Well, I'm curious in terms of your upcoming projects and goals, whether it's through film or music or something completely different. I mean, we talked about how you're very creative, you even paint and are very artistic. So I'm very curious as to what you look forward to working on.
Well, I look forward to getting settled next week, and I will be putting my canvas in the window first
Awesome.
with oh my gosh, I can't wait to paint, but I'm very excited. I can't talk about it yet, but I did just get a drum roll, a horror comedy of a script that would
Awesome.
be going before the end of the year, and I read the script and I spoke to some of my friends who are potentially going to also be in it. I was like, it kind of feels a little bit like Tucker and Dale versus Evil, which immediately made me like, ooh. So that's exciting, but that's in the future. And yeah, there are a few films lined up, mostly which are all very dark. So any moment now, I will hit a romance comedy. But yeah, and Dead Giveaway is going to be released soon. I'm not sure what the date
Awesome.
is yet, but Ian Kimball will announce that on the page any moment now, hopefully.
Very excited.
And that's a horror comedy.
I'm very excited, and it's funny that you say that a lot of these projects are going to be dark because you've clearly made yourself at home in the genre, and yet you're such a bright person. And so it's such a balance that really it's so funny.
You know who's similar to that though is Rowan Campbell because he did some dark stuff. He did like ugh stuff in Silent Night Deadly Night, and then when you hang out with him, he's a beam of light and he's so sweet and yeah. He's like smashing somebody's face in with a hammer and they all cut and he's like, "How did that look? Are you happy with that?" And I'm like, "I'm gonna be sick, excuse me."
It seems like those are the best actors though to play those parts. Like the nicest people play like the worst characters sometimes.
I guess that's what they say.
Yeah. And well, and they do it well. And I think it's just because you take it from other people and from watching other things and you kind of get to play that role. That's not you.
It's like what they say about Rachel McAdams. They said that she's like most wonderful, lovely human being in the world, and she was so good in Mean Girls.
Yeah.
Just a light example.
Well, it definitely comes through. And just your energy in general just comes through with just this brightness and this warmth, and you clearly just
I
love what you
appreciate
do and care about others. I think back, to the painting and uh you just wanting to share your art with people, like whoever was interested, and I was like,
I was
yeah,
given a
I'd be
lot of grief
interested.
for that, Matthew.
Really?
All these paintings that were like I really loved them, and I realized I wasn't going to put them up. I don't know. I guess I could have like I don't know. People were just like, "You're just sending paintings out to people." I was like, "Yeah, and it's going to make them happy."
I mean, it made I survived like two or three moves with this painting, and just like I need to like wrap it carefully. I need to where am I gonna put it? I gotta place it somewhere.
That
And
makes me
so it's
so
always been on my
happy.
shelf. It's made me
I'm glad that
very
you still
happy.
have it. It's I love that when you and I were first getting into this and I was looking in the background, I'm like, that looks like a painting I once did. And you're like, it is.
Yeah, it's so funny because I waited for so long to be like, I still have your painting. Like I still have it.
I'm
And
so
it's been a
glad.
source of joy. So
And I'm glad that we finally got to do this. What is it, like
same.
4 years in the making?
Yeah, it's been a while. And like I said, it's such a full circle moment to have you on and a dream come true for me, honestly. Being a fan of yours and just experiencing your kindness, and it's very special.
I look forward to hopefully seeing you at a convention.
Well, one thing, yeah, I hope to see you at a convention because I realized you never signed your piece.
Really? And
Yeah.
have you hit that with a black light?
No, not yet.
I think if you hit that with
I
a
gotta get
black
with the
light,
black light.
it's gonna become like
See, it's
illuminated.
gonna
I think.
mean something now completely different, which is awesome.
I'm so happy that you have it, and thank you. I'm so glad that we got to finally talk. I hope I get to meet you at a convention.
Yes.
Once I confirm what is potentially going to happen with this next film, I'm going to email you first so we can talk about it in detail.
Definitely. Yes. And if you're ever performing here in New York, I'll be there.
Are you in
So
New York too?
yeah, I'm in Manhattan.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Good now
You
you
and I
know.
could collide on the street at one
Oh
point.
my God. Oh, also I haven't told you, like I draw. I like I'm artistic like that or whatever. So if you ever need
Okay.
anything promo or help with something, let me know.
As soon as the interview's over, I'm messaging you.
And just to wrap up in terms of our questions, my last
Yes.
two is where do you find magic in the world and how do you create
Everywhere.
magic for others?
I see it everywhere in the world, and I think I create it through the self growth that I know that I'm always in the midst of. On in the dark areas of my being, in the light areas, I want to take that and I want to throw it on the canvas so that I can see it physically, and then go,
Well, I think it's very evident, and I think you're very successful at that.
Thank you.
And maybe I'm biased because I've already said my piece, but you've definitely created magic for me, and
Thank you, Matt.
continue to. Just your spirit and your sincereness also, I think is refreshing because you don't experience that often in life. And whenever I find people like that that are just filled to the brim with magic, like I like to call it, it's people like I want to talk to and be around and hang on to. So thank you so much for being on, Ruby, and I'm
I
very, very
appreciate it.
excited for
Thank you for
everything you have
having me.
coming. You have so much coming that I'm very, very, very excited.
Well, I'll keep you in the loop, and I'm really excited to see this hilarious interview edited together because it was a journey. Thank you for sticking with me.
It's gonna be so much fun. And now I have like this red velvet cupcake to enjoy. So I'm probably
Eat the
just gonna
cupcake, Matthew.
I mean I'll eat it only because I know you didn't make it. So
Well, fine then. Damn.
no. I would trust you. You know what's funny though? You should just create like a whole like bunch of red velvet cupcakes and bring them to a convention for the first like 20 fans or something like that.
Okay. Noted. I will be writing that down
See
because,
who will take one and who won't.
yeah, I guarantee you it'll be more that won't take it than those who will.
I don't know. I think more people would take it.
Just to say they took the risk.
Right, exactly. It's like I did it. It was fine.
All right. Well, you're amazing, and I appreciate the interview, and I look forward to future interviews and to stay connected on Instagram and all that fun stuff.
Absolutely. And before we end, I always like to tell people to go out there and do some magic, but I would love for you to say your name and say that everyone out there listening, go out there and do some magic.
Hello, my name is Ruby Modine, and I hope that everyone that is listening goes out into the world and finds some beautiful magic.
You heard her. Till next time, everybody.
Till next time.